October 6th, the day history decided to go, let's do everything. If history were a theme park, October 6th would be that ride where you're catapulted through time. 1 second you're dodging Roman spears, the next you're listening to opera, then suddenly you're on Instagram wondering why your croissant looks sad. It's a day where human arrogance, genius, and stupidity all hold hands and leap into the abyss together. So buckle up, because today we're unpacking a date that's seen everything from Rome's worst faceplant to Egypt's boldest gamble to humanity's ultimate achievement, making brunch look vintage. Segment 1. The day Rome imploded, 105 BCE. Nothing says ancient leadership failure quite like two Roman dudes too proud to share a tent. On October 6, 105 BCE, at the Battle of Arausio, the Roman Republic learned what happens when your generals hate each other more than the enemy. One guy, Gnaeus Mallius Maximus, was a new man, which meant he wasn't born rich. The other, Quintus Servilius Caepio, was old money, dripping in entitlement, and apparently allergic to teamwork. They refused to cooperate. The result? 80,000 Romans died because two men couldn't share a campsite. It's the ancient version of my Wi-Fi name is better than yours. The tribes of Cimbri and Teutones walked away victorious while Rome's army was basically vaporized. But out of this disaster came reform. Gaius Marius rebuilt Rome's military into a professional fighting machine, which, to be clear, also created the blueprint for future military dictatorships. So congrats, Rome. Your workplace dispute just birthed the idea of the standing army and eventual civil war. HR would be proud. Segment 2. Opera was basically political propaganda. 1600. Fast forward to 1600 Florence, where art meets politics meets we need to impress the in-laws. The world's first surviving opera, Eurydice, premiered on October 6 during the wedding festivities of Maria de' Medici and Henry IV of France. Jacopo Peri, the composer, invented what we now call opera, a brand new art form combining drama and music to glorify power and love, which coincidentally are also the two reasons Elon Musk tweets. This wasn't just about culture, it was a flex. The Medici family basically said, our wedding entertainment is so extra, it's going to invent an entire genre. And it worked. Opera became the luxury SUV of European art. Expensive, loud, and guaranteed to make peasants feel poor. The message was clear. Look upon our myth of Orpheus and Eurydice and know that we're better than you. It's the original influencer collab, sponsored by Divine Right, powered by nepotism, and performed in impeccable Italian. Segment 3, 1889, when Paris and Edison accidentally invented pop culture. October 6, 1889, the same day humanity perfected both high art and low impulse. In Paris, the Moulin Rouge opened, a cabaret of flashing lights, feathers, and scandal. It was the place where the bourgeoisie could pretend to be bohemian for an evening before going home to their gilded toilets. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Thomas Edison and his assistant tested the kinetoscope, the first motion picture device. Two events, same day, different hemispheres. One said, look at me in person. The other said, look at me forever. The Moulin Rouge gave us the live spectacle. The kinetoscope gave us the first solo binge-watching session. And from those roots grew the entertainment industry we know today. Part performance, part projection, all obsession. It's as if October 6th invented both TikTok and Broadway in one go. One gave us creativity, the other gave us endless scrolling. Both gave us bad posture. Segment 4, the Balkans pull a fast one, 1908. In 1908, Austria-Hungary looked at the Balkans and said, we'll take that. On October 6th, they officially annexed Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the rest of Europe collectively said, excuse me, what? This move broke every diplomatic rule, made Serbia furious, and humiliated Russia. Germany naturally jumped in yelling, fight me, and gave Austria a blank check of support. You know, the kind of ride or die promise that makes future wars almost inevitable. The annexation didn't immediately start World War I, but it lit the fuse. It was the geopolitical equivalent of hold my beer. Austria thought they'd secured dominance. What they really did was create the tension that 6 years later would explode in Sarajevo. Because nothing says peacekeeping like annexing someone else's neighborhood and daring everyone to complain. Segment 5, 1927, talkies, jazz, and the death of silent suffering. October 6, 1927, The Jazz Singer premiered, the first feature film with synchronized sound. The crowd gasped, Al Jolson sang, and cinema would never shut up again. Before that, movies were silent. Dramatic gestures, title cards, live pianists who probably hated every protagonist they accompanied. But now audiences could hear dialogue. Jolson even ad-libbed, "You ain't heard nothing yet," which became both a promise and a threat. This one film upended an entire industry overnight. Silent stars vanished like Blockbuster stores in 2009. Studios scrambled to retrofit for sound, and everyone realized their beloved leading man actually sounded like a honking goose. It's proof that progress always kills someone's career. In 1927, it was silent actors. In 2025, it's whoever writes clickbait headlines about AI replacing humans. Segment 6, 1928, Chiang Kai-shek's Unity Parade, kind of. The next year, October 6, 1928, China officially reunifies under Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist government. He called it the New China, though to be fair, it was mostly duct tape and optimism. Chiang had just finished defeating regional warlords in the Northern Expedition, establishing the capital at Nanjing and promising modernization. But unity was more slogan than reality. The warlords stayed sketchy, Japan was circling, and the communists, whom Chiang had recently purged, were not exactly sending fruit baskets. So yes, he technically unified China, in the same way duct tape technically holds your car bumper. It's all fine until a gust of history hits. Within years, Japan invaded, civil war reignited, and by 1949, Chiang was ruling Taiwan and Mao had the mainland. October 6th, the day mission accomplished met to be continued. Segment 7, 1973, the Yom Kippur wake-up call. October 6, 1973, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel during Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism. The war shook the Middle East and the world's energy markets. Israel, caught off guard, nearly collapsed before rallying. The U.S. airlifted supplies, the USSR threatened intervention, and everyone briefly wondered if World War III was trending. The Arab oil embargo that followed quadrupled prices and taught Americans what it's like to wait in line for gas. It also redefined global politics. Egypt's President Sadat didn't aim for total victory, just enough battlefield success to rewrite the diplomatic script. And he did. 5 years later, he signed a peace treaty with Israel. It's the rare war that actually achieved peace, though it did take a few near-nuclear moments and an oil crisis to get there. That's geopolitics for you. Blow up the region to fix it. Segment 8, 1976, the Thai coup and the horrors of fear. 3 years later, October 6, 1976, Thailand's short-lived democracy ended in blood. Student protesters at Thammasat University were massacred by security forces and royalist mobs. The violence so grotesque that the coup leaders used it as their justification to seize power that same day. It's the oldest authoritarian trick in the book. Start the fire, then claim you're the only one who can put it out. The junta banned parties, censored media, and ruled by fear. It's a grim reminder that democracy can die not in darkness, but in daylight. Live on the evening news, sponsored by Panic. Segment 9, 1981, Sadat's final parade. 8 years to the day after launching the Yom Kippur War, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat was assassinated on October 6, 1981. During the parade commemorating his greatest triumph, Islamist militants in uniform opened fire. Sadat, who had made peace with Israel, was murdered by those who saw that peace as betrayal. His death froze the momentum for Arab-Israeli reconciliation and ushered in Hosni Mubarak's 30-year rule. Among the arrested conspirators was a young doctor named Ayman al-Zawahiri, later Osama bin Laden's number 2. History really does rhyme, sometimes like bad poetry that keeps getting republished. Segment 10, 1995, Planet Found, Minds Blown. October 6, 1995. Astronomers Michel Mayor and Didier Queloz announced the first confirmed discovery of an exoplanet orbiting a sun-like star. 51 Pegasi b, a hot Jupiter that zooms around its star every 4 days. Before that, finding other worlds was science fiction. After that, it was science fact. And also the reason your cousin won't shut up about aliens. It redefined astronomy, proving our solar system isn't special, which, let's be honest, was a real ego check for Earth. Thousands of planets later, we're still wondering if one of them hosts intelligent life. Because if they're out there, they've definitely muted us by now. Segment 11, 2000, the bulldozer revolution. October 6th, 2000. Slobodan Milosevic resigned after a mass uprising ended his decade of brutal rule in Yugoslavia. The movement, led by students, used civil disobedience and a great slogan, Gotov je, he's finished. They didn't need tanks, they had memes and megaphones. Protesters stormed parliament, literally with a bulldozer. That's not metaphor, someone actually drove one through the gates. Dictators everywhere shuddered and Googled how to stop bulldozers with dignity. It was a rare win for nonviolent revolution, proof that organized resistance and humor can topple tyranny. Basically Reddit, but in real life. Segment 12, 2010, filters, fame, and FOMO. And finally, October 6th, 2010, the launch of Instagram. Two guys, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, took one look at the internet and said, you know what's missing? More photos of brunch. The app went viral instantly. Within months, millions were posting filtered sunsets and perfectly staged lattes. In less than 2 years, Facebook bought it for $1 billion, proving that humanity will always trade privacy for validation. Instagram changed everything: communication, marketing, even mental health. It birthed influencers, fueled FOMO, and made every vacation a photo shoot. It's poetic, really. On the same day in history that Rome fell to ego and Florence weaponized beauty, we invented the app that combined both. Segment 13, the births and goodbyes. October 6th has quite the guest list. Happy birthday to George Westinghouse, the man who literally powered America. To Le Corbusier, who made architecture look like IKEA on steroids. To Fannie Lou Hamer, who fought for civil rights so everyone could have a voice, even the ones saying dumb things on Instagram. And to Lonnie Johnson, NASA engineer and inventor of the Super Soaker, proving science can make both rockets and water fights epic. But history also takes away. We lost William Tyndall, who gave us the English Bible. Alfred Lord Tennyson, who gave us poems to cry to. Betty Davis, who gave us sass. And Ginger Baker, who gave us drum solos that still wake the neighbors. And in perfect tragic symmetry, October 6th also claimed Anwar Sadat. History loves irony almost as much as it loves sequels. In conclusion, a date that never quits. So what's the moral of October 6th? Simple. Humanity never learns, but we do keep innovating. This date gave us defeat and discovery, opera and outrage, dictatorships and digital filters. It's proof that time doesn't move in a straight line. It pirouettes, it can-cans, it crashes into the next century wearing too much makeup. From Roman arrogance to Egyptian diplomacy to the Super Soaker, October 6th is the perfect reminder that history's greatest hits are a mix of brilliance, vanity, and total accident. So next time you scroll past a photo of someone's artisanal toast, just remember, you're participating in a legacy that started with a Roman screw-up and a Florentine wedding. History is everywhere, and apparently, it really likes this date.